So hello, it's me again. It's another weekend, and it's me talking about something that helped me go through the week and things that make me happy. And now, in my past video talking about unis, wherein it was a big source of pride for me having Filipinas in the group, specifically two and a half Filipinas, and how it actually legitimizes our talent as a Philippine as Filipinos, or of talent of the Philippines, wherein we can we can go right at it with Koreans and also similar nationalities. And another thing that's also a big source of pride for me is that they even covered Pantropico, because what we're going to be talking about is the ones that did Pantropico, which is BINI. I get people now call it P-pop. personally, I personally I don't find them really new, because in the 90s we have these groups. We had, if I'm not mistaken, there's this group called Vanna Vanna. They sing and they dance as well, and they do it well, actually. But the thing is that with BINI is that they sing and they dance. They sing, and then their dances are really choreographed. Now people would say, yes, it's K-pop. It's actually a K-pop. It's a K-pop done in the Philippines. Yeah, I would have to admit, I would have to admit as much. But I would say that there's differences in terms of music style, also even in choreography, and even the concept in itself. Why? Because the K-pop girl groups and even the P-pop girl groups have been there for a long time. Excuse me. It's just that with BINI and with K-pop's marketing campaign, the way they market their idols, the way they market their groups, it's actually a very good model. Like they make them more relatable by having the YouTube videos, them doing stuff, and they show how hard they work, how good they are, how talented they are, which is actually a model for BINI to follow, and which hence became P-pop. And now it's also coming into, we're now getting noticed of that because of groups like SB19's Gento. It we have other people from other countries trying to cover the dance, and now we have BINIs. Now I have to admit that it took me a while to really get into BINI, despite me hearing them in the background. Well, since coming back to really getting into K-pop with ITZY and rediscovering Twice, I would always hear Pantropico being done in TikTok, and it took me a while to really get into it. But one thing that really got me really into it was when Uni started the cover, the Pantropico cover, and I was saying, it's a really nice song, and it makes me even prouder as a Filipino that people, even YouTube reactors, have started reacting to BINI, and finally them seeing their talent. Now, BINI is basically short for Bini Bini, which is in Filipinos, young lady. And they were set up by Star Magic of ABS-CBN. Now, for most people, for people outside the Philippines or Filipinos around the world, ABS-CBN is one of our well, if not maybe the biggest studio that's in the country, and they do have a lot of resources and they do build talent. Star Magic, Star Magic would have the Star Circle batches, and which featured one of the Philippines' best performers and actors and actresses. Now I think it's a good idea that they got into the P-pop and maybe spearheaded P-pop, because first they have the budget, they have the technology, and I'm sure they have the connections. And I think it's working out, you know. Now, I'll go back to my notes since I cannot remember stuff beyond 5. But one thing with BINI is that they've already debuted a long time ago. They officially debuted in 2021, which I didn't even really know. If you check out their Spotify, excuse me, if you check out their Spotify, they've got a lot of songs already released. And honestly, it's not as catchy as their current songs, but they've already been producing songs. Now, they're an 8-member group, with their names being Aya, Colette, Maloy, Gwen, Stacy, Mika, Joanna, and Sheena. Now, they're not in K-pop standards, they're actually not that young anymore, with the youngest being at 20 years old and the oldest at 23. Now, the good thing there is that the age difference is not too far. Remember, in unis, the eldest is 22 and the youngest is barely 13. It's barely 14. So that's a pretty big age gap, right? And while Eyelit has the youngest is 16 and the eldest is 20, which is not bad. It's a good. While like for New Jeans, we have Minji at around also at 20, and we have Haibin at around 16. So the age gap is good, but with BINI, the age gap is still pretty short, but all of them are already adults. We don't have minors anymore in the group. And also, they've also released videos, and they've also done a number of live shows. Actually, BINI has performed in China already, so we could say that they've already gone international, and hopefully they can do more shows as they start to get more traction, especially within YouTube, with a lot of people reacting to their songs and reacting to their performances. Now, they've already released 2 albums. They've also have released a number of singles already. But so far, the ones that I will be discussing are they're really more popular ones, like Pantropico, Salamin, and Carrera, because they're the ones really getting a lot of airplay right now. And one thing that I would have to say is that they're not new. You know, since they're not new, they've had experience already. These are women who know what they're doing. It's a little bit. It's just now that they're really getting a lot of recognition, but they know what they're doing. First thing is that they're very stable. You know, a lot of K-pop debuts, they come in with their voices. Most of them can dance. Most of them can already dance. But with regards to singing and dancing, they're not that stable. I'll have to admit, Eyelit isn't as stable. Especially when you hear their encores. Well, actually, everybody in Hive, more or less. Le Seraphim isn't as stable as well. But with BINI, you can really see how stable they are. You know, they can dance and they can sing, and that's, I guess, another part of it would be the Philippine setting, because in the Philippines, unlike in Korea with KBS and all those shows, they would do those shows not live, right? They would do it and they would film it some with the fans watching, and with the current trend, like with what Baby Monster did with singing with the live band, and what Eunice did also with the live band. The Philippines have been doing that ever since. Remember that BINI has already been performing in sports fests, like and these sports fests are in stadiums, are in basketball courts, not stadiums, basketball courts, where they would just be singing to a -1 sound, and they can do it. Right? So I guess with the lack of that lack of sophistication would lead to them improving their skills more. You know, it's not that they don't have skills, and it's not that the Koreans or the other groups don't have skills, but it's through adversity that they really got their moves, and they can sing well. You know, they have their songs, they can sing it. Another thing is also the Wish Bus. The Wish Bus has also shown that they can really sing as well, and it shows how stable they are. Now, with regards to their videos, well, I always see Pantopico in TikTok and people doing dance challenges on that, and I would say it's very catchy. You know, I would say it's a tropical vibe. Of course, the Philippines, tropical country, it's a very tropical vibe, but I do get a bit of some steel drum on it. You know, putting in a little bit more of a Caribbean vibe to the song, and the topics are very relatable, especially for us Filipinos who are pretty sappy. You know, the dances, though honestly I really found the chorus dance a bit distracting with when they do the side and then they twist. I do find it a bit distracting, but the music itself is very, 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 very catchy. And also towards the end, when they were mixing their voices already, that was so good. That was so good. And it gives me the goosebumps, honestly. It gives me, I personally feel that the song is a great song for me, personally, if I get the goosebumps, you know. It gave me the same feeling when I was hearing Twice songs. Oh, Twice. And it feels good, you know. It feels, but I would have to say that if it were up to me, I would choose Salamin, which is Mirror, Salamin over Pantopico. Though it was Pantopico that really got me to notice BINI, but it was Salamin that really made me say, wow, they're really good. The video for Salamin looks like a set, you know. It looks very 90s. Actually, the whole concept of BINI is very 90s to me. The acting, even the way they dance, you know, it's very, very 90s. I don't know. It reminds me of 90s vibe, especially with Salamin when they were doing their dances, and it's a set. It's a colorful set, which is very 90s, giving me Color Me Bad vibes. But the dance is really good. I would rather you guys watch the dance practice video rather than the music video for me, though, since they are Star Magic products, they can act. That's one thing also that's one thing that I would say that's going to be very different for other groups, and even for P-pop in general, is that these women can act. They're under Star Magic. If they're trained under Star Magic, under the Star Magic training, they have it. You know, they can act. Now, the dance video is really good. Their formations they're very crisp. You know, and the dance itself is very catchy. The song is already catchy enough. For me, I actually like the song better. But the dance itself is very catchy and easier to follow rather than Pantopico. It's actually, I would have to say, well, I don't dance, but I would say that it's actually a more memeable dance. And I love Salamin a lot. Even the topic, the vibe is actually a very 80s, 90s vibe, where she's talking about the guy, if the guy really likes her or not. How come the guy doesn't want to make a move? You know, it's the typical torpe vibes. You know, for people who might not be Filipino watching me, torpe is like a guy who wants a girl but's too shy to really approach the girl. And we go to Carrera, which for me is a good song, though. No, not though. It's actually a good song, and the video itself really showed their dramatic chops. You know, it took a while. You know, if I was gonna be comparing it to like Twice, it took them until one spark to really do some acting. If you remember that Dion was crying in one spark, BINI did that with everybody can do it. You know, everybody. I'm sure everybody in BINI can do it, and it proved it in Carrera. You know, it proved in Carrera how they did the video, the dances. They do have this thing about kicking stuff in sand. They do have this thing about kicking sand. You know, they did it in Pantropico. Maybe they would have done it if there was some sand in Salamin, but they did it again in Carrera. Uh, I love this. I love this song. I also love the message. But it's just that this is great times for us, for Filipinos. We've already got Pinay in K-pop. Now we've got a P-pop group where people from other countries are now starting to take notice, to see how good they are. I would have to keep stressing to see how stable they are when they perform. I do hope that soon they can get to perform in other countries, in bigger markets, and maybe hopefully even in Korea. We have these are, and the thing is, they did the thing with the, and also the last thing I'll talk about is their visuals. Now, as a Filipino, of course, I cannot pick a bias because they're all great. One thing is that it's the Filipino beauty. We did not have them look like Koreans. We don't have them look like for people or Latinas. They're Filipina. No, we have a Chinita girl there. I think Mika is from the name Mika, as a Chinese surname. She's Chinita. Her hair's red. Then we have Aya, Stacy, Colette, Maloy. That's Filipina beauty, and of course, Filipinas are one of the most beautiful women in the world, and all of the people who react to it see how beautiful they are. Though I personally find them better when they're just normal, or maybe it's just a personal preference. But when they're in their costumes, I do love the Salamin costumes though. It's very 90s, all denim. The Carrera white or silvery thing is also very nice. Honestly, I'm not too much of a fan with the Pantropico costumes because of those big puffy things in their chests. I mean, is it to show what, chest or their lack? I mean, so I'm not a fan of the Pantropico wardrobe, but for Salamin and Carrera, it's just basically, and it got me through the whole week. It's funny. I know it's old. I recently got Spotify. I got to play them. I get to play them straight, and it's an enjoyable experience working and listening to them, and feeling how proud, especially when I watch reactions about them, and how impressed they are with BINI. And it's good that they started early so that they got their experience and they got better and better. And now I think it's their time to bloom. And yes, the fan group is called Bloom. I would have to say that I am part of it also. I would have already embraced it already, and it's time for BINI to bloom. They've got the visuals, they've got the experience already, they've got the seasoning, they're very stable, their songs are very catchy. And I think it's high time, it's really time for BINI to bloom. And I do hope that you can share this. I hope that you can share this admiration with me. And thank you for everybody who's watching this. And once this gets posted, I'll post the links also for you guys to have a reference on. And thank you. And Filipino pride for BINI, and also for everybody, every Filipino and Filipina performing.